two names. Two people I want killed. When it comes to the method of execution, the more discreet the better. I don't want you storming in like a thug. The circumstances surrounding these individuals' deaths should be somewhat of a mystery. The first name is Eve Varney, leader of the Fifth Column. Speak to her half-brother, Horatio Whitehouse, in the tavern beneath the Fifth Column headquarters. He'll put you on the right track. The second name is Arthur, leader of Camelot. Speak to Dr. James North, an angel director in Westminster. He will brief you on how to best carry out Arthur's assassination. Meet him at the pub on Victoria Street. He'll no doubt be giving one of his lectures. Do you have any queries? It will be a while before we speak again. Camelot and the Fifth Column are in their infancy, propped up by figureheads. Only recently have they even begun to become established. Take these figureheads out of the equation now, and their grand vision goes with them. Those who remain are left to pick up the pieces. We can focus on our goals. The rest can be dealt with at a later juncture. If you want a target on your back, by all means. But I warn you, if you compromise Angel, it won't be Camelot or the Fifth Column you'll have to look over your shoulder for. Half-sister, and all the baggage that goes along with that. I'm sure he'll bore you with the details when you speak to him. Be seeing you.
Britain awake! Awake for
What can
slumber!
I do you for?
Nah, Eve Varney owns this place. God bless her. I merely run it, and I'm proud to serve my countrymen. Private lounge is members only. You? I'm not a member. Don't accuse me of incompetency. I didn't get the orders, okay? Here's the key. What'll it be this time? Goodbye. I'm knackered as fuck. You're being beasted with all these drills.
Bitch, I'm talking about my sister, Eve Varney. You see, not everyone thinks she's magnificent. And I'm not talking about the troglodytes in Richmond, or the gluttons of Westminster either. Your employer and I both agree she has to go. Straight to the point. No messing around. Smythe only hires the best. I have no preference in manner of her execution, but your employer prefers caution. I have somewhat of a scheme, if you wish to kill her discreetly.
Eve's chief advisor, Victor Schmidt, is a pathetic weasel of a man. If my suspicions are correct, which they are, he cares little for the principles of the fifth column. He stays only for Eve. An obsession is sickening. If he were to find out certain things about her past, then his obsession would turn to rage. He'd do the job himself, the fucker, if he weren't confined to that chair.
What's there to tell? His life story could be written on a napkin. He was a soldier. It's only luck that he fell into the chief advisory position. She's my half-sister, really. I am of proper stock. Eve is a bastard. When I was a boy, she was chucked out of the family home. It's the fifth column that brought us back together. A pure coincidence, you must understand. We both joined in Harold Athley's days. Dark times they were. I climbed my way to the top. She charmed her way up the ranks. When Athley was on his deathbed, the poor fucker was so delusional he named her successor. A little ways north of here, hidden away, is a mass grave. Very few know about it, and Victor Schmidt isn't one of them. Inside it, you'll find the remains of all those in the fifth column who have challenged Eve over the years. One such corpse is that of Oliver Hume, Victor Schmidt's predecessor and close friend. If he were to realize this, that Eve is just as flawed as he believes the fifth column to be, he'd break. Uncertain, it will be difficult to shatter the immaculate visage in his head, but it's never impossible to convince people of the truth. I wouldn't mention my involvement, for starters. He'd never believe it if he knew it came from me. Anyhow, empirical evidence wouldn't go amiss. I come in at the end, when I take my rightful place at the top. I have few allies outside the administrative branch, and little appetite for getting my hands dirty. The success of this plan is on you and you alone. In the case of failure, do whatever it takes. I want her gone. Now that was a leader. Apart from myself, I'd say Hume was by far the best candidate for Attley's replacement. Despite this, he never challenged Eve's position. That was his mistake. Instead, he challenged her decisions, repeatedly, hence why he was killed. Excellent. I will await the outcome. Take this letter. It will get you into most areas unmolested. When the deed is done, let us not speak again. Farewell.
Can I help you? You need authorization. Can't let you through otherwise. This will do fine. Go right through. That Badman Lawrence is so stingy with supplies. Who does he think he is?
No sudden moves. Who let you in? Very well. She shouldn't have. What do you want then? Then talk, before I lose my patience. Oliver was as loyal to Eve as I am. Why would she do that? Oliver Hume was the bravest man I ever met. I guess I see what you mean. So he didn't abandon the fifth column after all. I was foolish to assume he ran off. A damn fool. I don't know who put you up to this, and I don't care. But I owe it to an old friend to avenge him. Eve's gone. She rarely leaves Cable Street. But when she does, she always goes to the same place. Here's the address. She has minimal security on these excursions to attract minimal attention. If you're here for the reason I suspect you are, now's your chance. Now go. Leave me to my despair.
How you doing?
Alarm! For the priest! Hey, bitch!
He's sorry!
Fuck! Come on! Run the wind!
Try to stop me! You hurt us, huh? My mommy!
mistake! Traitorous scum!
What's that smell? Oh, it's you.
What? I'm busy. Am I invisible? Or are you an invalid?
What can you do? What can you do? You can do the bloody job I've hired you to do.
Which brings me to
Don't
my
you
final
dare show your
concluding
face around here
argument.
again.
For you see, it is not the radiation
hope
that
Father
has
is
brought
proud of
upon
me.
the changes we see. The answer is simple, or rather rendered simple through a certain lens. Hydrophilic epigenetics. You see, the radiation doesn't affect material DNA. No, this is a child's understanding of biology. The radiation was the catalyst. Ladies and gentlemen, what I am proposing is a longitudinal study into the origins of
It
the
must
Thames
be
Valley.
horrible to live in
With
places
adequate
without
staffing
luxury.
and governmental funding, well, the money isn't important. The potential is. We face the very real prospect of manipulating the physiological boundaries of humanity. This should inspire even the hardened cynics amongst you. So, if you're on the fence, think of it this way. Would you like to breathe underwater? Perhaps fly like a bird? Or have a hardened carapace?
Life at the
Fund
top
my
is
research,
immensely
and
satisfying.
these will no longer be dreams, but reality. Thank you. I hope to see you all at my gathering. Thank you for attending my lecture. Dr. North, always keen to help someone interested in the sciences. Though I imagine it was all a little high level. Thanks for trying to follow along. Perfect. I was just thinking, you know who was leaving it rather late. You know who I'm talking about, our neurotic superior. Look, I can't really go into detail here. Meet me in my lab. It's accessible via Hyde Park Corner Station, southbound tunnel. Unfortunately, the trains only stop at the lab for me, so you'll have to make a dash for it. Be careful not to get squished.
I'm in touch with humanity.
Going up. More.
Glad you made it. You'd be of little use to me as roadkill. I assume you're broadly aware of the plan. For the next few days, I'm going to be hosting a series of open events, fundraising for my research project. Though, as you may have realized, I don't need funding, no. My research, not directly, you understand. Smythe is my patron, and is very happy with my work. These events are a sham. Unfortunately, in my line of duties, I have gained myself a deadly admirer. A spy from those fantasists Camelot. I believe her designation is Guinevere. God, what idiots. Albion must be the most insufferable place in London, and that particular accolade is hotly contested. You are correct. Discretion is always preferred, but in a crowd, it's the only way to guarantee her attendance. The situation is too precarious to ignore them. Gone are the days we could tolerate absurd morons with a penchant for swords and explosives. Smythe wants to infiltrate Camelot and destroy them from within. Your job is to nullify the subject and extract a genetic sample. Precisely. Well, not precisely. This particular method of genetic replication is more complicated than Smythe's usual routes. My admirer has been following me for quite some time and is good at her craft. Other agents have failed to isolate her, so we've devised a trap. A package containing 5 surveillance devices was intercepted and later allowed to reach its destination. That destination was Guinevere. She's clearly planning to use those devices to snoop on me. I'll be hosting a gathering at this address for the next few days. That should give you the anonymity to address the issue. The garden will be inaccessible without a key. Here, one for you, one to swipe. Any questions? The curtains will remain closed, and the back door locked, and there'll be too much noise inside to hear anything. No, the event is catered. Yes. Oh, a couple more things. I think it's best we don't acknowledge each other's prior relationship at these events, and make sure you wear something nice. Be seeing you.
Going down. Can I help you?
I've been compromised. Shit. I'll follow you to the garden. Where's the extraction team? Fuck!
Excuse me, sir. May I trouble you for a moment? My mistress, Miss Penelope Shah, wishes to meet you. At your earliest convenience, of course. You may find her at this address.
Right. So, we're all here, are we? I trust you have the sample? Good. The family I rent the house to shall sleep well tonight knowing that only I am listening in and not some Camelot brute. Oh, who am I kidding? They don't know about the cameras. Here's gratuity for your services. Now, hand over the sample. Excellent. This'll do nicely. And it seems you managed to do it completely undetected. You know, you're one of the few people lucky enough to see this process. I've been perfecting this cloning technique for quite some time. I do understand why my research is being kept confidential. The hordes out there would tear us to pieces to get it. The genetic material provided by yourself won't be used directly in the process. Somatic changes in the organism are merely detected and replicated into the blank. The blank themselves are a real work of genius, of which I can only take partial credit. The typical human genome, wonderful as it is but a mere draft. What nature forms through blind chance, death, and intercourse, we have superseded. All imperfections removed. Every nerve, every sinew has been fine-tuned to achieve its maximum potential. Within the physiological constraints of biology, of course, each trait can be tailored for each subject. However, we're throwing all constraints out of the window with our little homemade collaborator. We've only done that once before, and the results were mixed. My hope is Guinevere will be quite formidable from the outset. Can't you see I'm busy? Call Smythe using the terminal. It's not hard. Should be quite trivial for any normal human being. Excellent. In record time as well. Come forward, subject. A fine addition to a long list of achievements. Since you're not doing much in this process, would you kindly mind giving our employer a call? I just have to finalize calibrating emotional responses.
Confirmation of the plan's progress.
Yes! Everything has gone perfectly according to the plan. Thanks to my efforts, we will
Thank you for the positive interruption, Dr. North. I had asked my associate, but of course, I'm eternally grateful you're here to correct my missteps.
I didn't mean to be overly familiar, Smythe. I just felt better equipped to discuss the situation at hand.
No. As per usual, you're perfect, Dr. North. You are the authority in that room. Speaking of which, did you manage to successfully load that abstract syntax module I sent you?
Yes. Although I would have preferred this was sent to me sooner. I didn't have time to scrutinize the routines.
Are you suggesting I've made a mistake?
From what little I saw, these routines are incredibly abstract. Very complicated. I think a second set of eyes may prove to be useful should we wish to develop the potential of the technique further.
Is that so?
Replicating memory association while disregarding emotional response is a complex process. I'd remind you that our last subject failed in this regard specifically. As such, I'm not 100% sure the subject won't face complete conscious subversion if exposed to severe mental stress. I think this operation has been recklessly hasty. We need time to test these new routines before deploying into the field.
Quite right you are, Dr. North. If you would oblige me, we can test a few routines right now.
Oh, okay then. Yes, that would be ideal.
Guinevere, step forward, please. Yes, you. Correct. You are Guinevere. Now walk over to Dr. North. Excellent. Now we can test these darn routines. Are you ready, Dr. North?
Ready and waiting.
Guinevere, kill Dr. North.
Why?
I'm sure you realize by now that Dr. North had an attitude that limited his career as an angel director. It's not that I didn't value his work. I treasure it. He has perfected the creation of biological clones beyond the scope of the original project. But brilliance is a deceptive trait to wish for in a subordinate. Narcissism quickly follows. Don't worry. His intelligence won't go to waste. Ironic, really. A scientist specializing in cloning, thinking he was irreplaceable. Wayfarer, meet our new recruit at the gates of Camelot. Infiltrate the castle and kill Arthur. Real name Richard Gwynn. Report back here so we can conclude the experiment. Be seeing you.
Guinevere, you're back.
Open the gate.
In a rush, are we? Very well. Open the gate. Who's your friend?
New recruit.
What's your business?
Ever vigilant.
London is a place for me.
Look where you're going. Guinevere, what are you doing here? Who is this? Was your cover blown? I don't like this. What's going on?
Richard, I remember you.
Of course you remember me.
I'm sorry.
Yeah! I won't yield.
Not like this.
Patience is key, for the quest continues.
That's modest of you. The pigeons tell me that Guinevere reacted somewhat aversely. By all accounts, you handled yourself well. That reassures me. Politics and science have one thing in common. Despite the veneer of competence, intellect, and prestige, they are risky endeavors. Gambling, really. Well, I'm proud to say that Norm's research is concluded. The people may forget his work, but I certainly won't. And you, I am pleased to say, have performed beyond expectation. Your next employee review is looking incredibly healthy. Considering the demise of Eve Varney is also the talk of the town, you are lacking an assignment. Return to my office.
Good day. Smythe is expecting you. If you'd just like to pop that bowler hat back on. No time to waste. Please make your way to the office. Smythe's ready to take your call.
I'm in touch with humanity.
Greetings. I trust you're well rested. I'm relieved to hear as much. You need to be in good health, as we have a lot of work ahead of us. As I'm sure you've witnessed firsthand, the situation out there has changed. There's a feverish tension, an emergent frenzy. Decisive action is imperative. Truth be told, the situation on the ground is, and has been, unacceptable for far too long. My proximity to such savagery has been a constant, personal source of frustration. Simply put, there are extensive belligerent parties that have been distastefully ignored, tolerated for expediency. No more. Circumstances have evolved, and so should we. This compromise was the result of pragmatism, not will. The time has come for a transition towards a permanent arrangement. I do. Several, in fact. I am to take direct control of the Lord Chancellorship. For that, I need a royal decree. We want the transfer of power to look legitimate. The salient details are in the dossier on my desk. Call if you have any questions. Be seeing you. I trust you've read the list. Ask away. Naturally. The Baroness is the Lord Chamberlain, a considerable choke point in the functioning of the state. As such, she is integral to our plans. You'll need her to sign a royal appointment. If she chooses to value pedantry over my objectives, avail her of the hollow disk I've given you. Any further questions? She's having an affair, and with one of those ghastly Thames folk at that. The gentry would find that obscene. Ideologically and morally, there's no issue. Yet she's not as compliant as one might hope her to be. She fears the laws of the land. I worry she will choose to hide behind bureaucracy, propriety, and regulation. These are tools for the state, not against it. You see, she understands what is happening, but is playing it safe so she can cling to the victor. Cowards cling to fear, and so you must use fear. The effete Baron Winthrop may possess the demeanor of someone with class, but don't be mistaken. This pompous, precious pig has all the squealing proclivities of a hedonist. He's a bottomless void of vulgar pleasure, yet you, must work with him. Convince him to stamp the royal appointment, as is often the case with those obsessed with excess. Any further questions? You can easily bribe him with any form of vulgar extravagance. Conversely, if anything were to threaten his access to such joys, his whole world would crumble. I trust your judgment, but my expectation is that zeal is applied with zeal. I may not care for the Baron's tastes, but his favor will come day challenging young men and women at tennis so as to leer at them. I don't perceive him having any real motivations beyond satisfying his desires. Normally, I'd say Honeyset is a valued asset, but this reliance, in reality, has evolved into conceit. He's trying to consolidate his own influence over the judiciary, an unacceptable outcome. He has a protégée, Cecily Sugar. Get rid of her. She's exuberant, an iconoclast. Our project requires guile and discipline. Send her back to Kingdom Come at one of her debates. Honeyset will quickly fall into line. On the contrary, the device may be loud, but the blast concentrated. Regardless, the audience, to be frank, we must be decisive, debtors sympathetic to the cause, or creditors. The profile for Cecilia Sugar is comprehensive. Any potential she has is curbed by the risk of non-compliance. He'd never pursue her, but he's deeply infatuated with her. He seeks to have her intimately in his odd little orbit, dependent and thankful of his patronage. If you deny him of whatever future exists in his head, you show him that we control his destiny, not him. Besides, I'm saving him the inevitable torment of abandonment. I'm glad. No, quite the opposite, in fact. The role is historically ceremonial. Though it would allow me to suppress certain parliamentary procedures. Very few know this, however, nor will they until it's too late. Be seeing you.
People have a negative attitude. That's what's stopping them.
Life at the top is immensely satisfying.
Caution! Interfering with a police automation unit is a criminal offense.
I'm afraid visitations are by invitation only. Yes, all this seems to be in order. Come right through and follow me. You'd have to be insane to take on the Tommies.
Smythe told me of your arrival. I'm afraid I cannot oblige you. Smythe seemed reticent to commit to the request to paper. That in itself caused a little apprehension. The requested document is not a trifling matter. In fact, even requesting it is a serious offense. I was so careful. Please, you can't. You'd ruin my family. Fine, I don't agree with your methods, but this really is what's best for us all. Here is your decree. I cannot provide the seal, as you know. I can only hope that Smythe doesn't destroy everything we've built here in London. Given the lengths you're willing to go through, I'm not so sure. Trying to elevate your status by being seen with me? It won't work.
I live in fear knowing you people can reproduce.
What's that smell? Oh, it's... Look, just leave me alone.
If you've come to challenge me, you'll have to wait. I've just been bested by another bestial young thing. Well, you found Baron Earl Winthrop. Titles may grow on trees these days, but some titles carry a dynasty rather than a vulgar rank. Oh, you flatterer! I tell you, I'm spent. Now leave off. You've made me blush. I must admit, it's not done easily. Well, you are a delight, aren't you? You know, just before you came, I was commiserating the loss of my fine Scotch collection. Oh, blast. Just thinking about it has got me glum again. Oh, dear child, what I really want is more of that delectable booze. How about you be a perfect dear and find me a top-up? That Smythe is a slippery character. How low would I have to be to sell myself for so low a fee as a bottle of Scotch? Alas, I shall exercise what influence I have to give you your seal. Maybe I'll visit outside the walls sometime. See how the other half lives.
If I see one more up-and-comer peasant, I'll go mad.
If you'd just like to step over here. Yes, that all seems good to me. Have a good evening.
As you can see, we're having some technical difficulties. The show will begin in due course. Scarpa.
Heard you joined the fifth column. If you want to keep your head around here, I'd dispel that particular rumor.
Oi! What are you doing back here? Oh, I really wish they'd give you security passes or something. Sorry to bother you. All right, mate. I'm kind of busy. Yeah, I know. I was just doing that now, idiot.
Good afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of Interrogation Interregnum. I am your host, Kisby Hunter. This week, I am delighted to host a scholarly debate. The issue, reducing the length of indentured servitude agreements. To litigate the issue, I am joined by Cecily Sugar, a barrister working out of the Chief Justice's chambers. She's a trustee of the 99ers, a civil rights organization advocating for indenture leniency. Ladies and gentlemen, Cecily Sugar.
Thank you for having me.
We're also delighted to welcome back a regular guest, a traditionalist noble with a wealth of military experience, currently serving as the Chief Accounting Officer for the Bureau of the Indentured Fiscally Terminal and Amortized Peoples. He is also the author of Lazy London and the recent follow-up, Pregnancy, Lazy Guts, or Productive Runts. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome for the Duke of Richmond, Gregory James Pritchard.
Good afternoon.
I'll start with you, Miss Sugar. do you really believe the fiscally irresponsible are capable of integrating into society? Do we not risk the virulent spread of mental as well as fiduciary vagrancy?
Imagine if they get into the schools.
Oh, now, I don't think anyone is advocating we'd release these people directly into the education system.
Not yet, but please don't kid yourselves. It's coming.
Roger, I can sense you'd like to respond to Cecily's ranting.
Respond? I haven't said anything yet.
The only one that's surprised by that is you.
Miss Sugar, if you can hold your interruptions and wait until the appropriate time to respond. Duke Pritchard, please continue.
Thank you kindly, Kibsby. Very passionate, but unable to control their outburst.
Apologies. I believe that's the minute timer for the opening speaker. Since Cecily used her time to interrupt you, we'll just turn it off.
What was I saying? Sorry, it's hard to follow with all these interruptions. Ah, that was it. These ghastly reformists will be all one hears. Shrill, droning voices spouting ill-informed opinions on matters they know nothing of. It's very simple. If you don't want to work under a custodian, don't get into debt in the first place. Indenture is a gift, given the right frame of mind. Consider 100 years of free tutelage and guidance under a temperate, wise hand.
Now, really, I must interrupt. A gift? Come on, how ridiculous. These people are practically slaves.
It really is tedious to have to deal with these insistent, histrionic interruptions.
I agree. Miss Sugar, I'm really going to have to ask you to control yourself.
You've not let me say anything, so I must make the opportunity myself. Indenture is the new face of an ancient experiment, the sanctity of debt.
What a claptrap! Debt accelerated the reconstruction of Westminster.
It was the rapacious force behind rebuilding, true. But by compelling people to pay their debts, they are forced to work. It renders those without capital in a potential state of subjugation.
And this terrible institution of debt, which you admitted powered the rise of Westminster, this terrible institution is undermined by reducing the 100-year term by 1% or a year, correct?
Yes, it's a modest decrease. But if we can start a conversation about debt relief, it'd be liberating to the majority of Londoners and...
Risible! People work. They must work. It forms their very being. People are incomplete unless motivated by profit. Inaction is death. The moment you break this covenant, unhealthy ideas enter the ecosystem.
Indeed, such talk has proved very dangerous in the past.
Precisely, Mr. Hunter. We're at a pivot point in history. Celsi, you fail to understand that you are meddling with forces you don't understand. You could awaken an atavistic deluge within society that would destabilize London.
I think it's very odd that an act of passion could be depicted as some sort of frenzied chaos.
You are a fool. A dangerous fool. She really must be taken off the air immediately. Is that what we're doing now, Kisby? Propagating seditious ideas?
No, we don't. You're right. It's a public safety issue at this point. I quite agree. Cut her microphone. It's time we brought out our final arguments. Obviously, Cecily has said quite enough for one day. Duke, can I have you please give us a closing argument, please?
No, I'd rather not. I think the public would be best served by wrapping this up as quickly as possible. We do not want to leave a lasting impression on the weak-minded. There is an important election coming up, and a stable transition is important for London.
Yes, I quite agree. Ladies and gentlemen at home, good evening from myself and everyone here at...
Londoners, we owe it to ourselves to change, even in a small way. There is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. We must fight for it.
There's no use, Miss Sugar. The microphone has been deactivated.
I'd rather not speak, if that's all right. I've had a terrible evening. I'd rather not speak, if that's all right. I've had a...
Am I invisible, or are you an invalid? Which is it?
Wait, wait! Wait! Please don't go just yet. I've been waiting for someone like you. I understand this might sound rather dramatic, but you are my only hope. Me? My name is Alsop, Clive Alsop, and I'm a composer. I dabble in a genre many call classical music, though I prefer more accurate terms like poetic or profoundly life-changing. Ever since I was a child, I've dreamed of performing my compositions to those noble tastemakers at the BBM. As they say, if you can make it at the BBM, you can make it anywhere. Ah, a fellow listener! And yes, I love Fort Worth as well. Been listening to him since I was a little tot. You see, me and my orchestra, we came here in the hopes of spotting a BBM producer and handing them our tape. So far, we've been here for weeks and have had no such luck. But the time for action is nigh. The denouement, as it were. And once I saw you, I knew you were the perfect person for the job. Someone who can help us get into the BBM and gently force them to listen to our tape. I see. Take...
It must be horrible to live in places without luxury.
Can I help you? What's this about? Smythe? The civil servant? This is highly irregular, not to mention socially inappropriate. Can't you see? I'm mourning the death of a close colleague and dear friend. Meaningless slaughter. A prodigious talent extinguished. You're implying you did this? Very well, I understand. There you go. More power to the faceless, unaccountable bureaucracy. Did it necessitate the death of a gifted young woman? I hope you're correct. Now, let me return to mourning. God save us.
It must be hot. Fancy a poster? Support your party to victory in the polls? Of course. There's an election on. Didn't you know? Last PM died at the tournament, so there's been an upset in Parliament. I heard Freddie Newell tried to step in to take control. Of course, Parliament wasn't having it. Can't have a PM without an election first. It's just not done. Name's Bernie, and I'm the campaigner in charge of elections. One of many, lest you think democracy around here's a joke and not to be taken seriously. I do love an election. That's why it's my job to make sure it's done right. Oh, we've got all sorts. We've got blue for the traditionalists, led by Freddie Newell. Bit daft, but they keep a steady hand on the rudder and all that. We've got yellow for the pragmatists, if you fancy a bit of change. Lynn Moores is the leader, and she's committed. Or she should be, at any rate. To an asylum. And finally, we've got red for the Reformist Party. Stark raving mad, the lot of them. They never win, but they try, bless them. So, who'll it be? Well, what's there to say? They're a fairly dull bunch. Between you and me, ain't the brightest bulbs, neither. Afraid of change, you see. Don't like upsetting the balance of order, or what have you. Ah, but they did recently outlaw hunting the poor for sport. For now. They call themselves reformists. Others say they just like to cause a fuss. They mean well, of course. Good for business, the pragmatists are. They've got some good ideas. Not sure about their new modest proposal about the meat ration, though. Good one, mate. Oh, you were serious? Well, what can I say? Any party that elects Charlie Barley as their leader has got to be taking the piss. That man couldn't lead a flock of homing pigeons. And? Gets me every time. Right, now, here's 5. Go and put them up around Westminster. What? You didn't think I was handing them out for free, did you? Popular participation is the cornerstone of our democracy. Elections don't happen if nobody knows about them. If you need more, I've got plenty.
Huh?
Queen and country.
Caution! Interfering with a police automation unit is a criminal offense.
I do hope Father is proud of me.
Hello? Right. What? You're finished.
Fuck you.
That's a bit steep, Mo, all things considering.
Who's there?
There you are.
Well, I say. Right. You're finished.
I remain loyal.
Prepare to be...
grief.
Hostile sensor reading detected.
Where did you come from?
You're back! Just in time! They're about to announce the results! Probably happened while you weren't looking. Now hush!
Thank you for tuning in to tonight's Election Night special. We've just got the result from St. James Park, and the Reformist Party has won St. James Park. This can't be right. The Reformist Party has somehow won a majority of seats in Parliament, just when I thought I'd seen it all. And Charles Bailey has just burst into the studio and knocked over a security guard to give us his statement.
They said I was crazy. They said it would never happen. But I did it. I won. Me, Charles Bailey. The Prime Ministership is finally
I'll
mine.
visit outside the
All
walls
mine.
sometime. See
Oh,
how the
hang on a
other
moment.
half live.
We interrupt this monologue to bring you a stunning development. The MPs for St. James Park, Victoria and Lambeth have just defected to the Traditionalist Party. The Traditionalist Party now have the majority.
What? Impossible!
Now, see here, Charlie. Let's be reasonable.
Park, Victoria and Lambeth have just defected to the Traditionalist Party. The Traditionalist Party now have the majority.
What? Impossible!
Now, see here, Charlie. Let's be reasonable.
You pompous little...
We will bring you the full result of this election and the fight between Charles Bailey and Freddie Newell after these messages.
Wow! I didn't expect that. I don't fancy Bailey's chances against Newell in fisticuffs. I hope they don't kill each other. Another election so soon would be just silly. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Officially, not for another 5 years, but given the state of things, we'll probably be back here again in a few weeks. I suppose it all seems a bit silly, now that I think about it. Anyway, I'm off. It's been a pleasure. Why the rush? Do you have somewhere to be? God knows I don't.
George.
I think
as
I'd
your
enjoy a good
father
fox
used to
hunt.
say,
It's a
you can
shame they
nuke 'em,
fight back
and
now.
the daft buggers would still vote us. Ha! Listen, I'll have to call you back. I've got some governing to do. Absolutely. Winning an election makes you a pillory for the desperate. People really need to start dealing with problems themselves, instead of going straight to the Prime Minister. Well, that's different. You've demonstrated your worth to us. It's been noticed, and greatly appreciated. Let's see. A surprisingly prominent position for Smythe. This all appears in order. I'll get things in motion immediately. You can tell our mutual friend that I'll enjoy working with them. Fine. Are you beggars ever going to leave me alone?
Good day. If you're looking for Smythe, I'm afraid they're busy. But again, you already know that, don't you? You take care of yourself. Be seeing you.
Sorry to bother, Gov. Got a letter for you. You're very welcome. Have a nice day.
If I see one more up-and-comer peasant, I'll go mad.
Country and people.
I do.
Excellent. Now would you please sign these articles of office? By the power vested in me, by the office of the Lord Speaker, I declare you Lord Chancellor Smythe.
I thank you for this great honor, and I look forward to working with you.
People have a negative attitude. That's what's stopping them.
Act in the present. Citizens of London, the situation has become intolerable. Violence has spilled onto the streets of London. Even inside this sacred borough, armed gangs of hoodlums are murdering each other. This has to stop.
Life at the top is immensely satisfying.
Stop. This will stop. This is my promise to you. To combat this epidemic of violence, I will take direct control of the situation. We cannot afford the chaos of indecision.
I do hope Father is proud of me.
Dissolving Parliament immediately. It's absurd to debate laws that you cannot enforce. Power will return to the people, as it always has in this country, once and only once. Order has been restored. London is on the precipice.
I'm in touch with humanity.
We must fight for its survival. We must unite, as we always have countless times past, to defeat this great evil. I believe we are more than equal to the task. God bless the people. God bless the Queen. And God bless the United Kingdom.
What's that smell? Oh, it's you.
Can I help you? Be seeing you.
It must be horrible to live in places without luxury.
It seems I must delay our meeting once again. Urgent matters have been brought to my attention. Nothing that can't be handled, especially if you continue your excellent work. Are you ready to wrap up this situation? You can listen. General Asquith, a man loyal to a fault, no longer wishes to support the gentry. He claims they will only follow orders directly from the Queen herself. Given the state of things, that poses an obvious problem. Exactly. Replace him with someone actually reliable. Colonel George Major. Deliver him the appointment papers on my desk, and the bad news to the former general.
Maybe I'll visit outside the walls sometime, see how the other half live.
It is time we return to our sworn duties.
I agree, but I fear our definitions aren't aligned.
We are Her Majesty's, not some kangaroo courts.
That kangaroo court is Her Majesty's government.
I'm with the General. We shouldn't blindly follow the gentry.
Hear, hear.
While Her Majesty remains absent, our duty is to the people.
They look to us for guidance.
Not for guidance, for peace. For stability.
That is what the gentry promised.
They promised the moon, but have only delivered dust.
Excuse me? This is a closed meeting.
Oh, did they? So glad they're sending us shackles rather than making us beg for them like usual.
Oh, ignore General Asquith. What's the message?
I'm the General, not Major. What is this absolute rubbish? The gentry do not order us around like dogs. We answer to the Queen, and the Queen alone. We will not accept commands from anyone but Her Royal Majesty. Do I make myself clear?
You'd have to be insane to take on the Tommies.
Greetings, salutations, and what. Yes, they sent word ahead. Or did you expect Smythe to be uninformed of your movements? Please enter. The royal party is expecting you.
Distract me at your peril. Speak with Elizabeth.
Don't speak to me. You want Elizabeth.
I was wondering when you'd arrive. Our new Lord Chancellor, appointed without my awareness, I might add, sent word. How kind of him to inform us after the fact. Regardless, he wished to speak with you directly about the matter. I'd recommend answering it. He's rather snippy when you don't.
You're about to have an audience with Her Royal Highness. You no doubt heard her screaming with excitement. She's been feral for ages, but as a figurehead, it doesn't really matter. So long as she lives, in whatever state, her authority remains. So try not to kill her. It'd put a real damper on our relationship with the Tommies. With the gentlemen in this room, of course. Did you think I called them here for their charm? Director Herbertson has the answer. In fact, you helped him with it. Speak with him. And the princess holds the key. You'll need that to let yourself in.
It seems you find yourself in my employ once again. Your previous efforts, while brutish, proved quite fruitful in the long run, and today you'll see exactly how. For this experiment, simply incapacitate the subject and administer the winning formula. Of course, we are replicating my success, but the Queen is a new variable. A fascinating variable. Not only must she return to sanity, but all aspects of her personality. A noticeable change would constitute a failure for Lord Smythe. Are you so daft that I need to explain your own brutish ways to you? Whatever you do, just don't bruise her face. She'll need to make a public appearance sooner or later. Was Oppenheimer 100% sure his atomic bomb would work? No, but that didn't stop them from dropping it to find out. All action must be considered. Observe, analyze, then act. Normally, I would control for all variables, meaning I would inject the subject in my lab under close scrutiny. But, circumstances as they are, you must act in my stead out in the wild, as it were. I thought I told you to not come back. Yes.
Don't misunderstand. I want the Queen back. But you and Angel, that I don't know about. Says the one under their thumb. No thank you. If you trust the Chancellor, I pity you.
These things, as you know, are so personal. I do not approve of Lord Smythe and their machinations, but in this regard, I must acquiesce. We have a chance to give something back to the crowds. With this key, we have a chance to give them back their queen. When people break down, awful and miserable as that is, what's left isn't the same. I fear for what's left of Her Majesty.
Gracious. It's all clearer.
Mother. Your Majesty?
More tests will need to be run, but early indications point to a full success.
Truly?
It's like a fog has been lifted.
Have some heart. Give her a moment.
What comes next, we don't know. That's the beauty of science. We must observe and learn. But Lord Chancellor Smythe needs a certain order signed. Her penmanship will be a perfect test for the efficacy of this formula, and a control for future studies on her progression.
I just need to sign this.
Yes, Mother.
And I will start preparing for your first public appearance.
That might be a bit premature.
Or it could yield the perfect data.
My mother is not your pet science experiment.
Isn't she? She'll be in my care for the foreseeable future.
It is done.
Good. Now leave us. There's much to study.
I'm in touch with humanity.
Sorry. In a hurry? An important meeting, perhaps? I think not.
If you've returned with more drivel from Smythe, you can walk back out that door. I see. So, this is as the Queen commands. I will step down. General Major will lead the Tommies to glory in the service of Her Royal Majesty. I need some time to pack my ruck and move to new quarters. Good day to you.
I wish I could meet the Queen.
My fellow Tommies, I stand before you as your new general. By the orders of Her Royal Highness, and with the full support of the gentry, I have been tasked with ensuring Blighty remains at peace. I cannot do that without each and every one of you. We cannot waver. We cannot yield to fear. There is chaos out there. Yes, the streets are more dangerous than they were yesterday. But we are no strangers to danger. Death or glory, Tommies, death or glory. Those are our options. So, let us choose glory. Let us bring the Queen's peace to the boroughs. so that they may all feel safe. Go! March! Stamp out that chaos and restore order. This is your city as much as mine. Make her a place fit for us all. Good job out there. How goes the war?
Burn like hell and you'll be there.
Mind the gap and all that.
Hey, you must be the Civion who General's looking for. Someone's on his personal line asking about you. Says it's urgent.
I was wondering how long it would take that servile buffoon to find you. Now we talk. Good work with the Tommies, but we'll have to delay our meeting further, I'm afraid. To really put an end to this rebellion, we need unity, a common goal. Without that, violence only begets violence, and we want a monopoly on it. That goal is born from fear. A manufactured enemy will cow them into obedience. Who is the wrong question. It's what, as in what they represent. Simply put, this enemy will seek to undermine the safety and security of all London's people. The best lie has a grain of truth, after all. And this is where the genius of my plan takes fruition. Our enemy shall be called Angel. You see, we've taken bold steps, you and I, to get to this position. Whispers of our organization have inevitably begun to spread. But it's too late. We already control everything, and they don't even know it. In fear of Angel, the people shall submit to it. Now is the time, my dear friend, to catapult Angel onto the national stage. Go to Land's End Inn in Peckham. Your luggage will await you in room 5. Be seeing you.
We won't go quietly.
Good day to you. Good day, Mrs. Fitzwilliams. Then I say, what can I do for you? And then you say that line. Manners will get you far in life. I just had Henry bring your luggage up. Here's your key. Be sure to tip him if you're able. How can I be of service? Goodbye.
Good day to you. You'll find your luggage safe and secure in your room. Oh, thank you. I'll be around if there's anything I can do for you. Have a pleasant stay.
I've got movement. You there. What's happened here? Angel. I've only heard whispers. That must be their flag. But why Peckham? Targeting the quiet places. Nowhere's safe anymore. But why do you know so much? This briefcase has everything. Plans, notes, diagrams. You've been through quite the ordeal. I can see the burns and bullet holes in your clothes, too. Come. We'll take you somewhere safe to catch your breath. Right then. Follow close. We'll keep an eye out for any stray Angel agents in the area. I'm Lieutenant Morgan, by the way. Thank you for all your help. That's all any of us can do. Take your time catching your breath. You're a hero, after all. This is the least we can do.
London's burning, and it's glorious. Not that I enjoy further destruction of my city, mind you, but this puts us a hair from victory. You did well, I must say. You really spun those troopers a yarn, and they believed it. Talk of Angel is already circulating the Tommy ranks. Alas, the most important work is yet to be done. We must control the fear in order to play it to our advantage. If we let it spread wild, we'll create anarchy and hysteria, not order. I haven't forgotten. I've even penciled in a date. Though in fear of further delays, I'll keep it to myself. Besides, we have more pressing matters to tend to. Still obsessed with money, are you? Your faith in the monetary system is comical. You realize I can print the stuff, right? Nevertheless, I wouldn't want to cause hyperinflation. Not yet, anyway. There's a reasonable sum on every telescreen, every radio, and every loudspeaker in London. I've already sent out troopers to consolidate key positions. BBM, Crystal Palace, and Hackney Radio. They are all under Angel control. Go to the broadcasting house. That is where we shall put on the show of a lifetime. I have assigned you a broadcast technician, one of my researchers. He and the station manager are waiting for you at the broadcasting house. They'll do most of the work. I had them made several years ago. You may have seen them, hiding in plain sight. Trafalgar et al. Most people don't take any notice of them. The BBM headquarters, scenes of irate locals and fiery vistas will whip it has all the infrastructure and facilities you'll need. Most will fall into line. Some will resist. Once those stragglers of the old ways are disposed of, your work will be be done. Be seeing you.
Life at the top is...
There you are.
Prepare to be civilized.
Yeah.
The world would be better off without you in it.
The... Who's that?
Prepare! Go!
Reveal yourself. I said reveal yourself. Did you hear me? I said reveal yourself.
This is getting really tight. You're humiliating.
going up.
No, I will not. I won't do it. The whole thing's quite ridiculous.
You have no choice in the matter.
I have free will, don't I?
Not really.
Like I told your apathetic friend here, I am not directing this production. I don't answer to you. This script is the biggest load of hogwash I've ever read. It's propaganda, plain and simple. I will not put it on air. Goodbye. I highly doubt that. If held, will they remember me at the office?
Very unfortunate. His compliance was expected. You will have to direct the broadcast. I was born a researcher clone beneath Lambeth. Now, I'm a technician. It's rare for my kind to work in the field, so to speak. An honor. Degenerates who thought they could make a difference. Good job in disposing of them. Here's the script our dearly departed friend had so many objections to. Feel free to give it a read. It has two parts, cast by Smythe. First of all, there's the newsreader. He'll be played by radio presenter Robert Maxwell Jones. Secondly, we have the fictitious angel reader, Theodore Francois. He'll be played by the impressionist and failed actor, Dickie Anderson. The newsreader will announce the attack, followed by footage of the aftermath. He'll speak of impending invasion and advise the public to comply with authorities. Then, the alleged angel dictator shall give his speech, terrifying the masses into compliance. Some kind of legendary presenter. Worked for the broadcast ministry. People like him, and they trust him. Since his retirement, he's accrued considerable debt, so he'll have to work for us. That much is certain. A man of many voices, not that he's recognized for his talent. He is relatively unknown, which is good, since we don't want him recognized. Whatever evil foreign dictators sound like, he can supposedly mimic it. Maxwell Jones is on his way, but we've had no word from Anderson. He's gone AWOL. Here's his last known address. Find him.
Maybe I'll visit outside the walls sometime, see how the other half live.
Who in the atom shadow are you? I'm mortally serious. Leave me alone at once! Well, it's too late for that. I've already made up my mind. Whole world's gone to shit. I'm the only one who can see it. Society is collapsing around us, and I won't be here when it happens. So I've packed my bags, and I'm going. You're right. But what can I do about it? All I do is silly voices. The broadcast ministry. After all those rejections, they come crawling back. Very well. I'll head there straight away.
It must be living places without...
Going up.
You're the director, I take it. It is good to be back in work, but work requires payment. Payment I haven't received. So, let's say 1,000 tickets. Nice and even. Fine, but quiet down. That's my reputation you're playing with.
Now that Maxwell Jones has been dealt with, there's one last obstacle. We're just about ready to record the show. Yet broadcasting it would be impossible. Those thugs the Roundheads caused quite a bit of damage in the studio. I've repaired most of the equipment, yet the telescreen transmitter circuit has given up the ghost. You need to find a new one, and as soon as possible. My best guess would be the old LT broadcast tower in Camden. Good luck.
Alarm! We've been breached! We're being attacked!
It's under the fallen knights! Retaliate! Where did they go now? Fuck!
Everyone us. You'll get 10 of yours. Eat this.
We'll toss you in a I die for the fifth.
going up.
We've already recorded the show. Replace the circuit and we can transmit.
This is London. The government have given instructions for the following important announcements. It has come to the attention of Parliament and the Sovereign that the disaster in Peckham was no accident. I have to tell you now that the assailants who claimed the lives of over 200 citizens hailed from the reactionary clandestine group known as Angel. It is believed by intelligence services that further attacks on British soil are imminent. Consequently, our nation is under a state of emergency. For those fortunate enough to have eluded the attack, the Broadcast Ministry has secured exclusive footage of the event. We recommend that those listening on a radio device make their way to the nearest telescreen. Stand by for transmission. Hold on. I'm getting reports. We've had communication from Angel. Yes, I see. Ladies and gentlemen, I am hesitant to announce that we have received communication from Chairman Theodore Francois himself. The government has authorized the full broadcast of this message. Stand by for transmission.
London, hear my voice. Hear the voice of supremacy. For we shall invade London, and we shall conquer it for the motherland. No Briton is safe. Every one of you dogs will submit to our authority. Or face extinction. Surrender or die, London. See the light, and behold our majesty. The choice is yours.
Disturbing correspondence from Angel there. We're live back in the studio. We will now resume the announcements. All gatherings for the purposes of entertainment and amusement, whether outdoor or indoor, are prohibited until further notice. In the light of experience, it may be possible to allow the reopening of such places in some areas. They are being closed because if they were hit by a bomb, large numbers would be killed or injured. So keep off the streets as much as possible. To expose yourself unnecessarily adds to your danger. In the event of threatened air raids, warnings will be given by means of sirens or hooters. When you hear any of these sounds, take shelter. Now, most importantly of all, you must comply with authorities. It is crucial to our survival. That is the end of these announcements.
Everything seems to be going well. Our work here is done. Isn't it glorious? Every prole in the city will soon have no choice but to submit to Smythe. Speaking of, he telephoned. Asked for you personally. He said it's a matter of utmost urgency. I'd head straight to his office. No delays.
Am I invisible, or are you an invalid? Which is it?
Oh dear. I've been watching my telescreen. How frightful. These angel people really must be stopped. Won't the government do something? Good work. I planned to have our little meeting after this initiative, but regrettably, there is a situation developing. The remnants of Camelot and the Fifth Column, lost and confused without their leaders, are marching to their demise as we speak. The pigeons tell me they've joined forces and are moving to carry out a joint assault on Westminster. I can only assume they saw the government's expansion of power as an ultimatum. Quit or make one final stand. They chose poorly. Camelot has made a camp on Westminster Bridge. Some kind of trebuchet has been spotted. I believe they will attempt to blast open the gate. The Fifth Column has taken over Waterloo Station. I believe they will attempt to enter Westminster via the underground tunnels. Westminster's soft underbelly. Since we're potentially facing an attack on two fronts, I want you to close one of those fronts. I'll leave which one it is at your discretion. But I warn you, once one is closed, the other will surely rush to arms. You must be ready to face a greater challenge at the other front. The gate on Westminster Bridge is rarely opened. It's strong enough that, historically, no assailant has managed to get through. It does, however, offer a quick headway into the heart of Westminster to any army strong enough to make it through. I wouldn't quite call it an entrance yet. The tunnels have been blocked for over a century. I assume the rubble will be cleared, or blasted through with petty explosives. Unless you're there to stop them, of course. It's too well defended. It is by far the most contended entrance, meaning the gentry have invested a lot in keeping it deadly. I should know. They bought the weaponry off of one of my directors, posing as an arms dealer. It is defended by nothing other than state-of-the-art Angel technology. It will take them a week to make preparations at the least, so you're free to wrap up any unfinished business beforehand. Once these rabble-rousers have been dealt with, go to the Palace of Westminster. I will be waiting for you. Although I have some new acquaintances who you will meet first. They're dying to meet you. Be seeing you very soon.
Life at the top is immensely satisfying.